Okay, what's up everybody? We'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I want to wish all of you a wonderful Saturday night. We should be headed towards the West Village tonight. But as always, if you guys can hear us, and if we are streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and give a thumbs up in the chat and we will get started shortly. We are currently sitting right outside of Grand Army Plaza, the Sherry Netherland Hotel, Central Park South, and 5th Avenue. We'll get started in a minute. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started, everyone. Well, good evening and welcome back to Walks in Wall Street. Today is Saturday, thank God. Hope everyone is enjoying the weekend so far. It is August 10th, 2024, and tonight we are going to be walking from Central Park South through Hell's Kitchen down towards the West Village. And if we have time, I think my battery should be pretty good. We'll head from the West Village over to Soho, through Little Italy and Chinatown. So we'll try to stay on track. It's Saturday night. For those of you who are new to the broadcast, Monday through Friday, we have in-depth discussions about the financial markets. Saturday is our day off, where we kind of walk around the city, have a chat, really about anything else but the markets. And just kind of explore the city. And then on Sundays is our Markets A Look Ahead live stream, where we go day by day, covering all of the major economic events for the week ahead on Wall Street. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. We're currently sitting on a bench outside of Central Park, Grand Army Plaza, the Sherry Netherland Hotel, Plaza Hotel, GM Building, and the 5th Avenue Apple Store. All right, everyone, and we're off. How's everyone's weekend so far? Trust everyone's doing well. Let's see who we got. The one and only Solo 401. We should be able to get some good views of the World Trade Center tonight. Alan, what's going on? Professor Dario, cheers. Always a pleasure. Trust things are going well in Argentina. Now, you know it was strange. This has been the first day where it's been really nice in New York in probably about 5 days. The weather has been absolutely horrible. It's been raining, it's been cloudy, it's been pretty miserable. But apparently what I heard from some of my friends in Chile, Chile got hit with a major storm, which knocked out power in parts of the country for like 5 days. Now, obviously, Chile is a big country. I'm not quite sure the main city, but yeah, it seems like we have crazy weather events all over. So this is the first day where we don't have that, thank God. So let's go ahead and try to enjoy the night without any umbrella. Thank God. Shannon, what's up? Good to see you. I see John, Mark Summers. Hope everything's going well in Arizona. RPT. This is super weekend so far. Love that. Sally, Lance, Sharon James. Sharon, I owe you an email. I will get to it. I was supposed to get to it today, but I will get to it tomorrow, 100%, 1000%. Alan says the fall is coming fast. Hey, I mean, last week really, quite literally felt like it. What's going on over here? Last week quite literally felt like it. It was pretty cold, and you could even almost smell it in the air. It was that fall-like in Central Park. TK Porsche, thanks for joining us. We're walking past the 5th Avenue subway station. Maybe we'll have enough time to go into, I don't think we've ever been down into the 59th Street, Columbus Circle. The new subway station, they made the Shops. It's called Shops. I think it's quite literally called Shops at Columbus Circle, but it's underground. It's not the one in the Deutsche Bank Tower. So, hey, the Mighty Bull, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Now, last night after the live stream concluded, I was in Koreatown and I saw this crazy car accident. Like the most, probably, it definitely had to have made the top 10, well, top 5 car accidents I've ever seen in New York City. One of which being the one we caught on film on Thanksgiving. That was probably number 2. But this one was probably number 3. It was wild. I think it was a hit and run chase. Now the NYPD and the FDNY closed down 32nd Street. It was just the most crazy thing. It involved one of those, you guys know this, I keep forgetting the name. The Lamborghini SUVs. Urus? U-R-I-S. Just wild, barreled into the scaffolding. I think they have to take the scaffolding down and redo it. So maybe we'll walk past that and see what's going on. Troy Atman, thank you so much for your very generous $10 donation. Just thanks for all the great content and happy Saturday. Well, thank you for your support. Appreciate it very much. Hopefully you're having a good weekend too. Yeah, Alan says, dang, we missed it. It was probably about an hour after I stopped streaming. You see, the more I would say time that you spend out and about walking around the city, ups the probability you're gonna see something crazy. I don't usually see things that are like super wild, but late at night, if you're in the right place at the right time, or depending on who you're talking to, wrong place at the wrong time. I've seen some pretty wild car accidents here. Yeah, Dock 7, that's true. Right across the street on 6th Avenue, this is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Tower. Beautiful hotel. It's pretty expensive. It's wild to think about just the velocity of 5-star hotels just on Central Park South. You have the Plaza, you have the Ritz-Carlton, You have the JW Marriott Essex House, which is right over here. And technically not on Central Park South, but it's close enough. You have the Mandarin Oriental, which is just at Columbus Circle. And then One Central Park West is another 5-star, which is the Trump International Hotel and Tower. And then you have the Park Hyatt. So there's like almost 10 5-star hotels literally within a 1-mile walk radius. Hey, RB, this is Evening Tom and all from Miami Beach. Fingers crossed, please God, I'll be there next week. Speaking of weather, hurricane season is pretty much in full effect. Usually the worst of the hurricane season, so I've been told, is pretty much right now until the end of October. That's usually when we have the biggest storms in South Florida. Funny enough, ever since I'd say really post-pandemic, Miami, or the east side of Florida, east coast of Florida I should say, has really been missing the brunt of all the storms, but the west coast, or the Gulf as it's called, have been getting hit with pretty much all the storms, which is terrible. There was also some major flooding, again, in the panhandle of Florida. Hopefully no one here was affected by that. RB says, looks okay so far, but very hot. It's in the 90s. Wow. Well, that's good for me. I kind of like that weather. New England Crypto, what's up? We did get some sunshine today, finally, in New York. Now, let's quickly make a right. I know I'm probably going to get off track, but they opened up the garage of the Steinway Tower today. I don't know if they closed it, but if it's open, we could see inside. It's beautiful in there. Looks like it's closed. Anyway, here's a quick shot at Central Park Tower, 157, and Steinway. Hey, Professor Dadillo. Good to see you, British Gray. Long time no see. Speaking of Florida, our good friend over there in Tampa, Mariana, Texas. What's up? All right, I do want to stay on topic tonight because I want to get you guys down to the West Village. Since it's the first nice night out in New York in about 5 days and it's the weekend, there's probably going to be a lot of stuff going on down there. Okay, 58th Street and 6th. Richard Gutierrez says hello from Vegas. What's up, Richard? Vegas, you guys got that dry heat. Someone's asking about ExxonMobil and Venezuelan oil. Well, I have a question as it relates to Exxon. I think there's some litigation between the two companies over that new that new major oil deposit off the coast of Guyana. Aren't they in litigation over that, or one of the major oil companies are? There's an interesting mini documentary series about it. But the thing is, we have so much oil here in the United States. But apparently that's one of the top deposits ever. This is 57th Street, Billionaires Row, 432 Park Avenue. They just repaved this entire street, going all the way down to the Tiffany building on 5th Avenue, which was much, much overdue. You would think for Billionaires Row, 57th Street, the asphalt would be immaculate. Yikes, Richard says it was 115 degrees today in Vegas, unbearably hot. See, when I went to Vegas at my old company, we were headquartered in Henderson, Nevada. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but Henderson, Nevada was out in the middle of nowhere. We were off the strip, and I had to go there from time to time for business. I don't see how anyone could physically live there. Now, I respect that it seemed fun, but to me, that's a place where you just visit. I don't know how people could live in Vegas. That's a little bit too much. It's about 9:57. Tracks 101, is it? TK Porsche's Henderson functions like a suburb. It's possible to live a regular middle class life there. Yeah, but for me, it was just too desolate. It was pretty, it was really nice. Where we were, we had a huge warehouse. It was a little over 60,000 square feet, our warehouse. We did all like the 3PL logistics stuff. Because we were a big hardware business. But we also had to download and stage and kit a lot of the devices that would go out all over the country. So we had this big warehouse in the middle of nowhere. And there was really nothing. It was just like this main highway. It was hot as hell. No public transportation. It felt like you were so far away from everything. The views were nice though. The views were pretty nice, overlooking the mountains. It was summer, but you could almost see snow on the top of the mountains. And apparently they had wild horses there too. So. Cape Cod, Sarah. This was like Area 51. I don't know. I've never been there, but it was just too desolate for me. I don't know if I could live like that. Some people like the suburban lifestyle, though, which, you know, you do you. For me, I feel as if I need to be involved in some sort of action at all times. I need to be able just to wake up and walk somewhere. That's what's so good about living in a city. Obviously, it has its drawdowns and its setbacks, but generally speaking, you could go outside at any time of night and really get whatever you want. Matthew says weather here in Georgia is hot as well. TK Porsche, I saw that. TK Porsche talking about many of them are single family homes or single family rentals in Henderson. I saw them when I was there. I don't know. I mean, if that's your thing, by all means, but I'm not sure how you guys feel about this, but if you look at those big REITs, like the real estate investment trusts that mostly focus on single family homes, single family rentals, one of which being Invitation Homes. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. This is the new Hilton. This is all brand new in here. It actually looks really nice. This is the Hilton flagship hotel on the corner of West 53rd and 6th. In any event, those homes seem a little bit too cookie cutter to me. You know, it doesn't really have any character. Everything is just like mass produced. And I guess that's fine. But, I mean, people just need a place to live. You don't need anything fancy. But, I don't know. It's like living in a cardboard box. Like everything is all particle board. I don't know. 213 says shout out from Los Angeles. It's very hot here as well. That's on my bucket list of places to go. I really want to go to LA. Someone was telling me that, someone sent me an email that if I like the Chinatown in New York, which I do, I love it. I love the one in Manhattan and I love the one in Flushing. They said you'd love the one in LA. Supposedly it's even bigger than the one in New York, the Chinatown in LA. Never been, it's on my bucket list. Hankster, what's up? Good evening, Tom. What's going on, Hankster? Thanks for joining. New England Crypto says ticky-tacky little houses. Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely different than the houses in New England. Right, a lot of those are the old colonial style, quite nice. I like a lot of those homes. When I went to Boston, kind of like on the outskirts of the main city, they had these beautiful, beautiful homes. And they almost kind of look similar to the brownstones that you would see on the Upper West Side and in Brooklyn too. TK Porsche says, Tom, it's definitely not for me, but a lot of Californians are relocating here as there is no state income tax in Nevada. It's also another good point. I think I told you guys this before, but one of my really good buddies lives in California, and he's a more right-leaning guy. But he said he would never leave California because the weather is just too perfect. And this is like a really, really, really right-leaning kind of guy. But he's like, where I live in California, it's just too picture perfect. It's 75 degrees, it's sunny every single day. He lives in a gated community. And I think that's what's keeping a lot of people in California, right? Not to kind of dive too deep into politics, but we could all agree California is a beautiful state. Particularly if you live in a place like San Diego, you know, you're near the water. It's an amazing lifestyle. It's picture perfect every day. The sun's out, palm trees, by the beach. I could definitely get used to that. I could definitely live there. Peters' Chinatown in San Francisco is quite good as well. I've never even heard about it. What would you say is bigger? LA or San Francisco, Chinatown? All right, we're gonna blast right through Radio City Music Hall, through 42nd Street, Bryant Park, through 34th Street, Herald Square, and then we're gonna take a straight shot on Broadway, down through the one and only Flatiron District, through NYU, and then we'll head into the West Village. 213 says, I don't see a lot of homeless. Yeah, you're really not going to see a lot of homeless here. This is 6th Avenue, and this is like peak tourist time. I'd say like towards the end of peak tourist time. I'm not sure if anybody saw this kind of little news clip, little New York City news, but we always talk about this specific spot. It's like a hot spot, I call it, in New York, between 34th Street, well, maybe 38th Street to be a little bit more generous. I'd say 38th Street and 8th Avenue up until about 50th Street. So just a little bit, maybe 48th Street. Anyway, you get the picture. That was a really, really bad spot, mainly because you have a dense congregation of those migrant shelters. I believe it's called the Row Hotel is there. But in any event, cutting right to the chase, Mayor Eric Adams has put together a special task force in the city to clean that area up. And I was walking it the other night, and it actually looks like it's improved quite substantially. Not gonna lie. There used to be a lot of open air drug trade there. So I think they're going to clean it up. They definitely cleaned up Penn Station. So I think they're probably going to clean that up as well. Hey, Miguel is here. Says, hey, Tom and people. What's up, Miguel? Colton Manning, cheers. Shannon, what's going on? And Hawaii, the one and only. Always a pleasure to see you. Says they just get moved to another location. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's such a high number in terms of the overall population of homeless in New York City, where I don't know where you would put them. That's like the thing that's so heartbreaking. It's just there's no place for these people to go. But we've talked about this before. My view on the whole situation is you really got to address the root cause of the problem. And in my view, from my observation, it's really a nationwide, not exclusive to New York, it's a nationwide mental health crisis. Like a lot of these people you could tell, need some sort of mental help that they're definitely not getting, which then leads them to be homeless. So I would say the city should address that, maybe invest more dollars into that side of the house. But that's just me. Hey Bevan, what's up? This is News Corp here. Someone's asking where do they stay. I'm not too sure, but what I do remember, and I actually took a course in college kind of discussing this. This was back during the last administration. The mayor before Eric Adams was Mayor Bill de Blasio. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of him. But he closed down a lot of the kind of insane asylums. Look at all that trash. Closed down a lot of those insane asylums on Randall's Island and quite literally just released the people into the mass population. And most of them just ended up on the street, unfortunately. All right, this is New York City's Diamond District. Maybe we will go down here, but look at that. I mean, that's just crazy. They should have extra garbage removal on the weekends, particularly when tourists are here. All right, let's cross over one more just to kind of avoid the traffic, just so we can make some good time here, and we'll make a right on 5th Avenue. This is gonna bring us out just south of St. Patrick's Cathedral. Super White Shadow, what's going on? Welcome to New York City's Diamond District. Stephen F. Says, did the sun come out? It was a beautiful day in Manhattan. Picture perfect day. It was hot, blue sky, white clouds. For the first day in 5 days. You know what? I actually did hear about that. So Roz999 says, did you ever hear about the guy who mined diamond pieces from the roads in the Diamond District? I think I saw something like that on YouTube. It's this guy who essentially like collects the dust off the ground, and it could potentially have gold fragments, silver fragments, diamond fragments. And apparently it does pretty good. There's a million ways to make a buck in New York, I guess. Peter says, did my IBD gig go bust? No, I want full ownership of it, and I want to be able to run money. And there's potentially a little bit of a conflict. So I'm not going to do it if I don't have full ownership of it and if it impacts me running my fund. But something cooler is in the works. But I love all those guys over there. I know them really, really well. This is a good shot of One Vanderbilt here. Last night we couldn't even see it. It was so cloudy. Sam M, what's up? All right, let's bang this right on 5th. Rick says, what's the empty lot? I think that's going to be new residential. Right on the corner of 5th and 47. 576 5th Avenue. I believe it's going to be a new residential project. All right, we're back on 5th. Let's head downtown now. Let's crush all the way down. Yeah, but look at how massive that lot is. It's a full block lot. That's very, very rare in New York, particularly in a coveted place like the Diamond District, Midtown Manhattan, a few blocks south of Rockefeller Center and St. Patrick's Cathedral. It's really rare to have a full block lot like that. I'm not too familiar with the project though. This is the Adidas store. I think I told you maybe 2 months ago now. I saw, if anyone follows soccer here, I know we don't have that many soccer fans. If anyone's familiar with Barcelona or Spain national team, Gerard Piqué. I saw him right here on this corner with his 2 sons. I think he has 2 young boys. Maybe they look like 10, maybe 11.
Yes, they can. Yes, I can.
Rick says, wow, that's awesome. You're a Barca fan. I'd say that I'm like a fair weather Barcelona fan. Oh, speaking of sports, I haven't really been paying attention to the Olympics, but I did watch the highlights for the men's basketball gold medal game. And the only thing I have to say is, wow, just incredible. Like, that team is so stacked, our US team. It's actually quite unbelievable, to be honest. If you didn't see the game, you at least got to watch the highlights. It seems as if every time Steph Curry touches the ball, he drains a 3. It's insane. It was just crazy. I think he hit 4 threes back to back to back to back at the end of the game. Ooh, what's going on over here? Well, maybe it was a break-in. Usually sometimes I'll get a notification on my Citizens app. Let's see. 33 West 42nd Street. It says report of assault with injury, but this isn't 42nd Street. This is 44th Street. Someone's talking about Bitcoin. Yeah, we had a pretty strong rally, but we're still sitting below the 200-day. Let's check it out. I have my phone with me. I think we're at 61,000, but yeah, we rallied right back to the 200. We got to break above that 200-day. Great, says Curry was amazing. It's just unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. It looks like he just chucks it up. It looks like he's not even trying. He just like hawks it up. The craziest one was when he was double guarded by those two French guys, which they look to be like twice the size of him too. And he just hawks it up over both of them and drains it. Michael G's is looking forward to the Olympic Games 2028 in LA. That should be pretty fun. It looks like the current governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is preparing for that already. He was doing a big photo op, or he was cleaning up the trash and stuff on the streets. Now look, I'm not from California, so maybe someone can enlighten me on this. California spends more money to clean up the homeless mess than any other state. And just now, Gavin Newsom's getting the urgency. I mean, I give the guy credit, right? I'll give anyone credit where credit's due. But why the urgency right now? I mean, why can't you clean this up and yell at, all the local municipalities? Why couldn't you do that, $14 billion ago? Why now? But, we'll take the good with the good. And it looks like Gavin Newsom's really going to throw down the hammer and clean that shit up, which is good. I applaud him, but it's too strange. You know how something is almost too on the nose? At points, you're like, this seems to be a little bit too on the nose. And it also is a very, very good lesson that money does not solve any problems. People think if you throw money at an issue, it's going to solve it. Actually, it's the opposite. Money makes things worse almost all the time. Money is only good if it's in the hands of a good steward. You have to have good stewardship of the money. If you give someone that's, irresponsible, if you give them $1 billion, they're going to drain and run through the $1 billion. You got to give it to someone with good management. So money doesn't solve anything, right? And that's kind of my counter argument for people that say, I can't believe, all these billionaires are buying all these yachts and all these boats and all these planes and all this, these crazy apartments, when they could have spent that money to solve world hunger. No, there's no amount of money that'll ever solve that. The Federal Reserve could just print $1 trillion and give it to the cause. It would never change, because it's all about the management, the discipline, and the stewardship of that money. Which is perplexing to me with California, because California, what many people seem to forget sometimes, it's one of the most powerful economies in the entire world, just the state of California. Okay, I'll say that again. California is one of the most powerful economies in the entire world. So they have no shortage of money, okay? And they have no shortage of mental capital. Some of the smartest people in the world reside in the state of California. So I think it's corruption. That's really the only thing that leads you to, because all the money creates different departments of the government that are now getting paid salaries to control the issue. Well, if you look at the incentivization structure, if someone's getting paid $100,000 to manage the homelessness crisis, and if they solve it, well, it looks like they don't have a job. So they're incentivized to keep the problem going on in perpetuity. At least that's how I see it. Could be wrong. Hey, Western Mass Dave. Welcome to the city, finally, without any rain. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome to Fifth Avenue. Tammy Lucy's is what was that building to your right. This is one of my favorite buildings in New York City. This is the Stephen Schwarzman building, or the New York Public Library, named after Stephen Schwarzman, who is the founder and CEO of Blackstone. Blackstone, obviously one of the most powerful private equity firms in the world. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Stephen Schwarzman, he's a really, really good guy, super sharp, smart, and he has a book that's very good, and I think everyone should read it. It's called What It Takes by Stephen Schwarzman. It's very good, particularly for those who want to have a career in finance, specifically private equity. Really good book. This is another fantastic library here. Adjacent the main New York Public Library, 40th Street and 5th Avenue. If you take the elevator to the 5th floor, it's the International Business Center, and you could use Bloomberg terminals for free. See, there's so many things that New York City has to offer that are really just invaluable. The free infrastructure that we have readily available to us New Yorkers, and even people that aren't New Yorkers. You could go in the library and use it for free, even if you're not from this country. The problem is, a lot of people don't know about it. And if you don't know about it, nobody's going to use it. Oh, wow. Hopefully everyone's all right. That cop was really, really moving. Professor Dario says that's the reason why I love New York City. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. If you move here with nothing, right, quite literally nothing, and if you have the mental fortitude to apply yourself, you could just go sit in any one of these libraries all day. These are some of the best libraries in the world with top resources, and they actually teach classes as well. Most people don't know that. So if you're interested in finance and you want to use a Bloomberg terminal, which costs, if you run a hedge fund or you work at a bank, the license per year is like $35,000, maybe $40,000, depending on all the bells and whistles. You can use it for free, and you could actually take a class on how to use them right there at the New York Public Library. It's very good to have autodidact skills. Hey, hang with Mark Mom, what's up? Hope you're having a good weekend after this crazy week on Wall Street we had. That's why I was not so happy with the mayor in New York when he cut funding to the libraries. If anything, you want to feed that, right? And maybe you want to even advertise. But his thought process was, look, with the migrant crisis, we have to cut back somewhere. So let's cut back on the public libraries that provide the one key thing that's going to bring people out of poverty, right? Which is education. Like, that is proven, that is a fact. More so than anything else. If you look at all the data, if you graduate high school, your percent chance of living in poverty decreases. Then if you take a step further, if you graduate college, in anything, the pay scale moves up. So if anything, you should be funneling money into that, but not just aimlessly. You got to make sure people know about it. So I would even run potentially targeted, like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok ads. So when all these inner city kids, or just people in general in New York City, are watching Instagram, Facebook, they get an advertisement from the New York Public Library. Oh, I'm interested in science, I'm interested in chemistry, I'm interested in finance. I didn't know we had all these awesome free resources here. This building is pretty unique. Unfortunately, it has scaffolding all over it. We're going to see an even better building coming down in a few. It's going to be the CUNY Graduate School. Hey, Liz is here. What's up? This is, hey, I'm coming to New York City tomorrow for the week. Wow, nice. Perfect timing, by the way, because you missed all the horrible weather. So good for you. Awesome. Wow, Professor Dario says, when you visit Singapore, you will see the reason for the wealth. It is the education. I'm really excited about Singapore, Professor. Really, really excited about it. Do you have any recommendations on places to go in Singapore if you've been? Let's actually cross here since we have the light. And you'll be able to see an amazing, amazing view of the Empire State Building. Hey, Meld is joining us. Tom, I love the Upper West Side video. I really enjoyed filming that video. The Upper West Side is beautiful. I think I'm gonna redo that video when the weather's a little bit nicer. But the Upper West Side's a beautiful, beautiful place to live, particularly if you have kids and you want something a little bit more residential. Beautiful brownstones. It's quite nice. I really, really like the Upper West Side. Here's a good shot of the Empire State Building from the corner of, what is this, 36th Street or 37th? I think it's 36th, and 5th Avenue. Hey, left-handed, what's up? Western Mass Dave says the libraries are no longer being used like they used to. Try to find an encyclopedia. No, for sure, but you got to visit the libraries, the new ones here. It's just different than any other library anywhere in the country. It's just different. The resources they have there, in terms of the tech, in terms of like I don't know how to explain it. It's just they have availability to every single big major technological thing that you would need. You can play around with AI tools like GPT. You have Bloomberg terminals, right? These things are $25,000 a year. And just the books and the textbooks that they have at the New York Public Library. Now I'm talking from a finance standpoint, but these are some of like the best materials, the best resources. I don't know if I'm allowed to film in there. I would do a detailed video showing everyone the sections to go, where to find them. Any topic you want to know about, it's there. On how to raise money, how to structure an LBO, even how to structure and underwrite an IPO. Like everything is there. If you really wanted to be an autodidact, you could just sit in that library all day, come out for an hour to eat lunch, and just go right back up and just learn everything yourself for free. All right, 34th Street. We're actually going to walk over. So we're going to go all the way down 34th Street to Herald Square, and then we're going to make another left and head all the way to the West Village. But if we were to head down this way, this would take us to 32nd Street, Koreatown, one of the greatest places for nightlife in the city, I'd say. Stephen F. says, hey Tom, have you ever been to the JP Morgan Library? If so, how is it? Yeah, the Morgan Library is awesome. It's actually right over here. You go down here and then up on Madison, I think it is. Right as everyone crosses the ambulance, will try to run us all over. It's par for the course. Hey, the short guy, what's up? Mike Skate TV, welcome.
Beat your ass and hide the body with a bad watch.
But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Town now, this is Wall Street Journal article. Banks have not been reporting losses for years. Thoughts? What do you want me to give my thoughts on? I mean, we've covered bank earnings every earnings season in depth. I mean, we talked about the net income at every single bank, both bulge bracket and major, or I would say both bulge bracket and boutique. I mean, we've almost pretty much beat the hell out of that topic. I would say refer to the newsletter. I mean, I have 2,000, probably over 8,000 words doing deep dives on the boutique investment banks, talking about the big earnings recovery throughout 2024, particularly a pickup in M&A activity, a pickup in IPO activity. We talked about Jefferies, Houlihan Lokey, Evercore. I mean, we've really drilled down on that. So feel free to read through that. I've even took screen grabs of the earnings decks, their quarterly reports. But banks are doing good. Banks are doing really good. The only problem, and we've talked about this before, I'm sure all of you have, if you look at the most recent FDIC quarterly report, it is true that there's record, look at all these cans. It is true that there's record unrealized losses throughout the financial sector, but that's obvious. We've had low interest rates for over a decade, so there's all this debt outstanding at low interest rates, and then when you raise rates, the value of those bonds crater. So the unrealized losses are huge, but everyone knows that. There's only a problem if they need to sell those assets and realize them at a loss. That's kind of what happened with the whole Silicon Valley Bank thing. That's actually exactly what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. They had so much debt outstanding at low rates, so when interest rates moved the other way on them, they had huge amounts of unrealized losses on the books. And when customers wanted to withdraw their money, well, the bank has to sell the assets to give them the money. The problem is the value of those assets. If you wanted to realize those losses, they were selling them at like 60 cents, maybe even 50 cents on the dollar. See, New York City on a Saturday night, it's like you're walking through different worlds. We got people playing ping pong here. It's really lively, it's really fun. But we gotta stay steadfast here, because we gotta get all the way down to the village. But Town now, it's good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. That's another thing that they have free at the library. Like, let's say if you don't have the resources, right? You're like, you know what? I really want to read the Wall Street Journal. I really want to read Barron's. I really want to read the New York Times, Investors Business Daily. but I just don't have the money to pay for these subscriptions. That's fine. They have the print and digital versions for free at the library, right there, 42nd Street. You could sit there all day. They sit there and nobody even reads them. They'll probably even let you take them home, honestly, if you get a nice librarian. So you never have to pay for anything. Everything is free. You want to read the Financial Times? Sure, it's there for free. So that's what? Let's see. It'll be fun to do the math. So Bloomberg Terminal, that's $7,100 a month. IBD Digital with the print version, that's about $56. I think that's how much I pay. Wall Street Journal print and digital, I think, is $20. Barron's, I think, is another $10. What else? Financial Times, I think, is $20. So you're getting about $2,600 a month worth of value, or $33,672 a year for free. That's pretty good. Okay, 32nd Street, Korea Way, and it is rocking tonight, which is very, very good to see. This week, everyone was freaking out about recession. Recession, consumers aren't spending. Obviously, this is anecdotal data, but on a Friday night in New York, in Koreatown, the anecdotes show that there's actually a lot of people out. And it looks like they're all at the restaurants doing things. Hey, Nate, what's up? Good to see you. Wow, you used to live at the corner here. Great location. Particularly if you like Korean food. I still haven't tried this place yet, but it looks great. Haas Manning, what's up? Happy Saturday. Dinesh is here. He says, hello, Tom. Keep up the hard work. Or the good work, likewise. You know what we could be seeing tonight? This could be 5 days of pent-up New York City demand because nobody was out because the weather was so piss poor. So it's good to see people out and about.
We ended up deciding not. Oh, there's an Italian place.
This is the new Virgin Hotel. So we're now making the transition from Herald Square down through the Nomad district. Here in a few, as we continue to walk down Broadway, we're going to pass the new Ritz-Carlton Nomad. But you know where I was today? I was going to give you guys an update. I was inside 157 today, and I was given a tour of the new amenity facilities. So inside 157 on the hotel side, so the Park Hyatt side, if you go to the 25th floor, that's where they have like the amenities for the hotel. They have the pool, they have the gym, they have the 2 locker rooms, and then they have some sort of a spa. It's like a hair cutting place. It's gone under renovation. They gutted the entire place. And I got to take a look of the construction, take a quick peek. It looks freaking unreal. So just as a little bit of an update. So if you're visiting New York, Q1 of 2025, all of those new updates should be complete. And it's crazy. That's all I could say. It's crazy, crazy. Town now. Says, Tom, take us to Studio 54 so we could dance and get drunk. I don't drink, but I'll give you my card and you could run up a crazy tab. The short guy says most of the clubs are in Bushwick and Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm not that big of like a nightlife type of guy, but I mean, there's definitely no shortage of places to have a good time in New York. Like my nightlife is just going out to a restaurant, like in Koreatown or Soho, something like that. But that's really the extent of it. This is the Ritz-Carlton Nomad. Wow, Haas Manning says I was in 157 recently. A friend of mine lives there. Stunning building. Oh, it's my favorite building, man. It's awesome. And the staff are great, particularly at the restaurant, the living room. Amanda is the best there. She's usually the bartender there. Super talented, super cool. But yeah, I love that building. Haas Manning, I just love all the X-Tail buildings, except One Manhattan Square. I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of One Manhattan Square. Someone says, is the street always closed down here? I'd say as of recent. Once we get to 26th Street, that is when, at least I think it's 26th Street, that's when there's going to be no vehicle traffic. It's going to be 2 dedicated bike lanes and everything is going to be outdoor dining and public seating space, which I think is much, much better in my view. Because notice the difference. Okay, so notice the difference when you have all these cars here. But once we pass 27th, there's no vehicles allowed beyond this point. See, it says all traffic except bikes. Notice how much better it is. It feels like you're walking down a street in Europe or something like that. People are outside in the restaurants, just better. This is the Smith. They also have a location, well, they have a few. But I'd say the most notable one is by Lincoln Center. Man, there's a line wrapped around the block for that bar. Look at how crazy that line is. It quite literally wraps all the way down and around the block. That's insane. And I think that bar is a little bit overrated in my opinion. But you can see, everything is closed down to vehicle traffic. And it's all pedestrians and it's the 2 bike lanes that we just so happen to be walking in. This is 235th. Could you imagine waiting in line for that? Oh. A little bit of a ruckus here. Could you imagine fighting to get into 235th? I think you'd have to pay me to stand in this line. You'd have to pay me to go to 235th tonight. You would have to give me a serious compensation package to go to 235th tonight. But doesn't this look nice? This looks awesome. All these people dining outside. Man, that guy was cruising on the bike. I think I mentioned this before, but for all of those listeners or viewers that carry an American Express card, if you want a cool bar to go to in the city that has killer views, just call the number on the back of your Amex card and ask for a reservation. What's up?
Live.
Hey, how are you? I don't see you. Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey.
Have a good night. Be safe. Watch the bike lane. There's bikes. Take care. So if you call the number on the back of your American Express card, just ask for a reservation at the Centurion Lounge on top of One Vanderbilt. And there's no lines. And you could usually get a reservation pretty easily. And it's a similar view to what you would get at Summit at One Vanderbilt. I wouldn't say the exact same, but it's pretty close. Man, these bikers really cruise to this bike lane, even though there's tons of pedestrian traffic. All right, to the West Village we go. It's already 11. But I think this is probably one of the best decisions the city has made in a long time, to close down Broadway to vehicles. Sabrina Ferris says, Tom, don't we have to spend thousands on our Platinum American Express to get into the Centurion Lounge? No, you don't. Not at all. I just called the number on the back of the card and they just made me a reservation. I don't think you have to spend any money. Now, there's a restaurant portion of the Centurion at One Vanderbilt, but then there's also a bar. The restaurant's like crazy too expensive. It's just too expensive. But you could just hang out up there. You could just sit at the bar, like get one drink and just chill. They have this beautiful view. If you go in the winter, you could see the ice skating rink at Bryant Park. It's really cool. It's a really cool experience. Lee Oswald says they sounded Irish. They did. I was going to tell them about the portal to Dublin, but then right as I was going to say it, I'm like, oh, they took it down already. But yeah, the portal to Dublin is over here. It's only up for like 2 hours a day, a few hours a day, something like that. Because I think people were doing inappropriate actions to the portal. Haas Manning says, that's right, I was at the restaurant in June. It's beautiful. It's awesome up there, man. I wish I could go more often. All right, so let's meander our way down past the Flatiron Building. Which is going to be condos soon. What? Sabrina Fair says we canceled our card because we had to spend $80,000 annually? There's no way. 80? I think you may be reading that wrong. TK Porsche is any news on when they'll open for sale? I'm actually not too sure about that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Sabrina versus Tom, I accept your challenge, let me verify. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't spend I definitely don't spend $80,000 a year. That's a lot. It's a lot, man. Tammy says, what's in the Flatiron building? Well, nothing anymore. They're gutting it. On the floor, there was some retail. I think there was a T-Mobile store in here, but it's going to be totally gutted, and it's going to be condos now. My only concern about the condominiums at the Flatiron is I don't know. I haven't seen any of the documents, but it's very narrow, right? So the floor plans or the floor plates could be pretty awkward. I mean, if you think about it, it's triangular, very narrow. I don't know if they're going to be able to really elevate those ceiling heights. I don't know. I think it'll sell out, though. If I had to make a prediction, I think it'll sell out. Probably to foreign investors, just so they could say I have a place in the Flatiron building. If I had to guess, that would probably be the majority of the sales. Okay, East 20th Street. We're a few blocks north of Union Square Park. Don says the Flatiron building was auctioned off last year for something like 160 million. Well, there was two auctions because the first auction the guy couldn't put up the deposit. He failed to make the deposit. But yeah, you're correct. It was sold at auction. There's going to be a lot of good opportunities for things getting auctioned off, particularly on the commercial side. $75K is to bring a guest. Well, you know what is also crazy? I brought a guest. I didn't go there by myself. I brought a guest. It was two of us. We went up there. I don't know, maybe they were just being nice to me, but I mean, the people there are cool. They barely even checked. They said, oh, you going to the Centurion Lounge? So they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, take this elevator. They barely even really gave me the time of day. hear the subway right under our feet. Kid's got a nice board. All right, I think we're making good time. It's 10:58. Sabrina Fair. If you two are in the city when I'm in the city, I'll make sure you get up there. We'll go. If you're in, let me know, and we'll all go. It's cool up there. You could even just go just to check out the view. They do a really good job. That's my favorite Barnes & Nobles over there. Right towards Park Avenue South. Haas Manning says, I think there's a bit of confusion. Bring a guest for an additional charge is for the actual lounge in the airport. The Centurion experience in New York City, you don't need to pay for an additional guest. Got it. Yeah, and it makes sense. It's a totally different thing. And I'd also like to say, and I think Haas could back me up on this, it's totally different. Like if you've been to a Centurion lounge in the airport, that's not what this is. It's totally different. This is like just totally different, trust me. At the top of One Vanderbilt. Hey, music to relax and unwind. Thank you so much for your donation. This is what business is good as a lot of startups fail. I mean, I don't know. I also think you need to have an edge, right? And I think you need to do something that you're interested in. Because chances are, you'll probably work a little bit harder at it if you have interest in it. It doesn't mean you have to like love it, right? You don't need to like totally love what you're doing. I think that's kind of a myth. Sometimes people say, oh, just 100% do what you love. You gotta pay the bills at first. So pay the bills, find out what you're good at, right? There's a really good book by this guy, forgetting his name. Scott Adams. And he talks about talent stacking. So you don't need to be the best in the world at something. Just figure out a handful of things that you're maybe 10% better than the masses at and stack those talents on top of each other. And that's what you should pursue, right? So you don't need to be the best. Maybe pick 5 things that run a little bit parallel to one another. And if you're about 20% better than the vast majority of people and you stack those talents, chances are you'll probably be really good at it. And if you're good at something and you start making a lot of money, there's also a high correlation that you start to like it, right? I think it's also a big myth. I've never met someone who's killing it in a career, right? They're knocking down big money, right? And they're like, oh, I can't stand it, I hate it. I don't know, I've never met a person like that. Chances are if you find your stride, you figure out what you're good at, you pursue it, you start to make a few bucks, you're gonna like it. And try a bunch of different things. You know, don't be afraid to fail at it. Just try a bunch of different things. Maybe you try 3 things, 2 of them don't work, you drop the other 2, right? You kill those 2 and then you put all your time and energy into the one that's, you know, doing well.
I just wanted to see how long it
Hey, Tess D, thank you so much for your $5 donation. Appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for your support. Also, another thing I was thinking about, if you're going to sell a product or service, sell it to people who could afford it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Go to the top. Like maybe you want to service like the highest upper echelon, because you'll get very, very little objection in terms of the price if your product or service is good. And then I'd say do something that scales. So scalability would probably be number one. Find something that could scale over time. Maybe servicing a specific niche where people can automatically afford it and there's not a lot of pricing friction, with something that you're talented in. Hey, Teresa Diaz. Thanks for joining. All right, here we're gonna start to get the good views. This is East 11th Street, but you can see the beautiful World Trade Center in the distance. Okay, once we get towards Washington Square Park, we'll kind of cut through the park diagonally and we'll head over to West 4th. Oh, look at this place. This looks relatively new. Looks good. Middle-aged Ryan says, I wish Blue Bloods was not ending. I think they used to film Blue Bloods in my college. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different show. Oh, I think that was Law and Order. That's it. Yeah, Law and Order, a lot of the scenes when they're in the office or in the lab or something like that, that's filmed in the main concourse at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I used to see all those actors all the time. I forget her name. She's like a very, very famous female actress. Super popular, super famous for being on that show. That's killing me. I can't remember her name. Let me Google it. Law and Order. CT. Ah, you're right. Meld. Mariska. Yeah, that's the person. I was not expecting that to be your name. I feel like... Oh, that's right. Haas Mannix's Blue Bloods was my first TV show I played on. What's that new one that you were on that I saw? Tell us, Haas. We'll the group here will go search him out. We'll watch him. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, our friend Haas Manning in the chat is an actor here in New York City. Plays in a lot of notable stuff. You'll probably see him in some major TV shows that you watch. This is now really the main campus of NYU. This is East 8th Street, and we're about to pass the main dorms. I walked past this building a million times. I just realized this was the Languages and Literature building. I never knew this was the exact, like that's what it was called. These buildings are gorgeous here. Is that right, More Adventure? That place is haunted, supposedly? I wouldn't doubt it. These are old buildings. I wouldn't say I believe in the paranormal stuff, but I definitely, I don't know. I definitely agree that if there's some evil stuff that's taken place, there's definitely some negative spiritual energy for sure. That I do agree with. All right, let's cut diagonally through Washington Square Park. Haven't been here in a while. And one of the positive things about New York, you'll notice that since the last time I was here, they really cleaned up the park in a major way. So we'll see if they were able to maintain it. So far, it looks like they have. Wow, look at all the people. This reminds me of Halloween. CN Music's is so awesome about Haas. Wonder if he knows actor Will. Yeah, ask him. You could pull up his page. I don't know if he wants me to, what is it, the IMBD page? Yeah, but check him out. He's been in a lot of cool stuff. Support his work. Watch the shows. That's another cool thing about New York, right? I mean, you never know who you're going to run into or meet. There's so many different people from different careers, backgrounds. It's amazing who you run into. These people are doing a silent disco in the water fountain. Not too sure I'd be in that water, but look at these guys on those chairs. It looked like they strapped chairs to the skateboard. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Oh, here's another one. All right, one more lap, And then let's head to the village. Well, deeper into the village. What's up, Dave? Yeah, it actually looks pretty good.
Are you streaming?
This will be the real test to see if we can go down. If we go down this way, we'll see if it's still cleaned up. Usually this is the no-go zone. Yeah, it's a little better. I wouldn't say it's 100%. Definitely not as bad as it used to be, though. Before, you couldn't even walk this little corner without being heckled, harassed, or offered some sort of narcotic. So this is Washington Square. We're gonna make this left and go all the way past. You know what, actually, let's go down MacDougal Street first. We haven't been here in a long time. Hey, David Sommers. Good to see you, Madison 32. Welcome. You might as well pass the Blue Note Jazz Club and the Comedy Cellar. Middle-aged Grind says your mom went to the Comedy Cellar 2 weeks ago. Who did you see? Allie Stars says, Tom, do you read the New Yorker or New York Magazine? Not a fan. Not a fan. I do not read them. Hopefully you don't work there. If you do work there, I'll start to read it. All right, this is West 3rd. And it's hot down here. For some reason, it feels like I just walked into a sauna. All right, let's go to the Blue Note Jazz first, and then maybe we'll make a lap around the other way. Ali says, no, I don't. I just like the perspective. I'll give it another shot. I have an open mind. I'll give it another shot. Most of their stuff is behind paywall, right? I just don't know if I would want to pay for the New Yorker. The Comedy Cellar at Village Underground. Wow, it looks packed. Whoever is headlining tonight. Looks like they're going to be doing quite well. Let's make a left on 6th Avenue, and then we'll go back around. It says it's 76 degrees out. It feels like 85 on MacDougal Street for whatever reason. I think you guys are gonna like this. Let's make a left here. Audible Theater. Look at how cool the street is. Isn't it nice? Now there's actually an apartment for sale here. It's a 1-bedroom, I think, for $850,000. Now you would think, oh my God, I'll buy that tomorrow. $850,000 for a 1-bedroom right here. Well, there's a catch. You're not allowed to cook in the apartment. I think there's some specific zoning clause where you're not allowed to prepare food. As weird as that seems. So you can't cook anything. Which, that's terrible for the resale value. But what do you guys think? It's kind of cool down here, isn't it? I like it. Okay, we're gonna make this right, but then we're gonna double back into the village. I just kind of want to show you what MacDougal Street looks like on a Saturday night. This is one of the main nightlife spots in Manhattan. Hey, that's the CNBC guy. I forget his name. Scott Wapner, I think. I watch him on CNBC in the mornings. I think I'm pronouncing his last name right. Wapner, Scott. Anyway, look at this, Cafe Wa. Super busy. Sam M says, I like Scott. I like Scott too. His interview with, who's he called? His interview with Ackman and Carl Icahn was legendary. Legendary interview. You won't walk through the main area here because I want to go back through the West Village. But it's definitely packed. Anecdotally, economy is doing very well. But if you guys are enjoying the stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. And click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these pretty much every day starting at 8:45 most of the time. See a little bit of the spire, One World Trade Center. You know, I forgot they had a Joe's down here. Totally forgot.
No, you can't.
Joel PM. Ackman is my signal. When I see him cry, it's time to buy. I like Ackman. I think he's a good guy. He is an emotional guy, but he's a good-hearted person, I think. Hey, what's up, Pete? Oh, nice, up in Riverdale. It's nice up there, like the Fieldstone neighborhood in the Bronx. Some really, really nice homes there. Expensive, but very nice neighborhood. This is now Bleecker Street. It's unique down here. I think the last time we came down here was maybe the last time I came back from Miami. This is Cornelia Street.
So nice.
Tacombi is to our left. It's that taco spot, which is all right. Look at these pre-war buildings. This should run us right into the Five Guys. This is John's. John's a Bleecker, no slices. Right on the corner of Jones Street. This is a very quiet, like residential type block. Milkman, so speaking of Miami, when are you going back? Probably Tuesday. God willing, probably Tuesday. Haas says you love this area. I love it too. It's cool, man. I mean, look at that white building there. It's so old, but lots of character. This is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in New York City. This neighborhood is very ideal to live in if you're young. Because there's just a lot of stuff to do. Bars, restaurants. It kind of does feel like a younger vibe. So we're going to cross 7th Avenue. This is Bleecker Street Pizza. This one's also very good. 69 7th Avenue South. Hey, Charlie Richardson, what's up? Long time no see. Hopefully you're doing well. We're checking out the Village tonight. Oops, here's the light. After 5 days of rain. You know what, let's go up one. Because there's a really cool bar up here that has good views. Street level views. Someone says check out Whitney Webb. Not too sure what that is, but I'll check it out. Hesitantly check it out. If you look at the top hand corner of the screen, you'll see the Empire State Building come in. Almost perfectly in between those two buildings, by the way. Sabrina says you're going to send me one of her books. All right, yeah, send it to the office. 575 Madison Avenue, 5th floor. They moved me. I'm not on the 6th floor anymore. This is the bar that I was telling you guys about. They usually have like outdoor tables and chairs set up. Usually they have it like lined up in an L shape here, but I guess they're closing. But it's nice. This is Arthur's Tavern. Doesn't it look cool on the inside? Look at that. It's a beautiful bar. It's a cool place for cocktails. "51 Grove Street." What do you guys think of the Village so far tonight? Look at this guy cruising. That's a really smooth longboard. See, the thicker the wheels, the smoother the ride, generally speaking. Man, this place smells incredible. It's another reason why I like the neighborhood. It's so, like, the trees make a nice canopy. You would think you were in the suburbs right now. Like, if someone just tuned in on the stream, you would not think that we're streaming in New York City. Let's go to one of the more desolate blocks. This is Bedford Street. Isn't that famous restaurant where they used to film that show? Sabrina Fair says, how many steps do I average? I think now I'm averaging over maybe 35,000 a day. Between the stream, everything else I'm doing during the day, and the standalone videos, probably a little over 35,000 a day in the summer. The winter, it'll probably go down. But as of late, over the past 2 weeks, I'd say 35. Ah, you're right. Yeah, that's the Friends restaurant. And they had that tribute to that actor that unfortunately passed away. It's so sad. I think that was almost a year ago now, wasn't it? Or maybe coming up on a year. Not quite, but let's walk in the middle of the street just for some perception. This neighborhood's gonna look awesome in the fall when all the leaves are changing color. Hey, Gabriel. This is one of the best neighborhoods in New York City, for sure. It's also one of the most expensive, but I could see why. It's very quaint, it's quite nice. Depending on where you are, like we were just in radio silence, quiet. And then in another block, you're in the middle of everything. And you're quite close to the trains. A lot of cabs out tonight. All right, let's start to head back uptown. We'll go right past the Stonewall Inn. It's 11:40.
My brother drink with us.
I may jump on the train here, because it is almost midnight. You know what? I think I will jump on the train here. So thank you everybody for joining. I think this is a pretty fun Saturday night. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Markets Outlook stream. Thank you so much, Haas Manning, Janice S., 10 Red Bluff, Dale, Professor Dario, thank you, TD, Gabriel, Joe Driver, Shannon, Tammy, Western Mass Dave. See you all tomorrow. Troy Admin, appreciate it. Take care, everybody.